Hey, this is Erico here. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Stay positive, please, because we really gotta hope and pray that things get better. I am coming at you today or tonight or whatever time zone that you are in with Manga versus DC Comics. Yeah, baby. Let's start off with the art and manga. As you can see here, this is a very popular series. It recently came out. Really enjoy it, but color on the cover. However, on the inside, it's very bleak, very black and white. And a lot of the manga creators, they work endlessly to get these volumes out to their readers, and they fall out on the floor, they gotta go to the hospital, they quit series midway through and never come back to them. Sometimes they do. The struggle is real, you guys. And because you only have really two colors on the inside, they have to work really hard to make sure that the content is attractive. They have to make sure that the shading is right. They have to make sure that the panels are right and that the panels have something in it to attract the viewer's attention, to also aid to the story, because if it's not done right and it's not pleasing to the eye, a lot of people are taking it out of the story. So it's definitely something that applies pressure to them, and I am so just impressed by a lot of what I see. There is a range of art from cutesy, and you look at the cuteness and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden, crash landing, boom, bang, hentai. All of a sudden, it's real mature, and you're just like, what? Whoa, I wasn't ready for all of this. If you see your child buying a manga that is wrapped up, most likely, if they haven't told you about it and they're not 18, they're not supposed to have it, and you need to go and knock it out of their hand before they get to the cash register. I don't know why they stopped asking for IDs when buying mature manga, but they have, and everyone is running amok. However, there's definitely a range there. You need to be very careful, because sometimes the ratings is like a blurred line and you're thinking something is like teen for teen, and then it ends up being mature. And Japan just is all over the place with like being free, and they think that that's normal, and it's like America and people outside of Japan have to do so much censoring, and sometimes the censoring jobs aren't even done right, and it's just kind of lackluster. It's like you might as well just have left it like it was. But this is the whole art world of manga for you. On the other hand, we have DC Comics, and you can see that it's more like majestic, it's more like Greek god like, and of course it would be. I mean, when you think of the superheroes, you think of people that have immense power, and you want that to be portrayed in how they look. Sometimes it's a hit or miss with the art. I'm not going to even lie to you. There are sometimes I look at the art and it looks like chicken scratch, and I'm just like, okay. Sometimes the art on the cover looks better than the art that's inside, and you're kind of like, you all really just flamboozled me out of my money. However, all of the pages are in color. And I was a ride or die for manga for a long time, and then I decided that I was just going to go halfway digital with manga, and then open and go toward new horizons with comic books, and coming into a world where it's mostly all color, and coming from a world where it's mostly bleak and black and white. I was like, you're giving me color pages so freely, because you know in manga they really don't be trying to give you color pages like that, maybe for a special issue or maybe in between chapters, and that's about it. Now don't get me wrong, they do have color manga, but it's very few and in between. And it's a very special thing when you do see it. It's beautiful. It makes you want to cry when you see it. However, because a lot of the pages in DC Comics are in color, I do feel like that it is a burden lifted off of the creators because the color distracts from the imperfections, but then again, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the color makes you see the imperfections even more, and you wonder why Robin is drawn like someone broke his jaw. However, it's some series that are beautiful. I mean, some of the Batman series that are coming out now, just absolutely beautiful. I'm excited for Joker War. You just look at it and you're like, this is amazing. It is so lifelike and just beautiful, and you just get lost in the structure of the face and the action sequences in the overall background. The background is much more detailed in DC Comics, and of course it would be because they kind of have to. I mean, these stories are based on places that play a huge part in the building blocks of the story. So, it's definitely a contrast. The other thing is price. So manga, while it is bigger than the individual comic books that you would get, the individual comic books are much cheaper. But I don't really like buying individual comics because I feel like that they take up a whole lot of space. Of course, you all know I stopped buying a whole lot of manga unless it's short series or one shots. But manga, oh my goodness, like it's $10 just for one volume. Sometimes you'll run into a sale, you can get multiple volumes. Sometimes they're $15, sometimes they're 30, depending on if you're getting a hardcover or not. It's something that will burn a hole in your pocket, and we all dealing with Miss Rona out here, and a lot of people don't have that type of money. I do advise people to go digital if you can. Buy a series that you really want to buy. Other than that, save your money if you can. I've saved a whole lot of money. On the other hand, DC Comics, if you're not buying the small, very tiny, twig-like individual issues, you're buying collections. And these also can be very expensive depending on what it is. I mean, this is a hardcover right here, very popular DC series. And I feel like it's worth it, but you gotta be very, very cautious because there are some compilations that give you reprinted material, and you will want to hit a wall when you find out that you just rebought something that you already had. So you gotta really be on the lookout for that. If you know like what issues you bought, even if it's in a collection, look on the back and make sure that you're not rebuying something that you already have. This has happened to me 2 times where I bought something and it was the same exact story that I had, except for maybe like one new chapter, and that was about it. It's not fair. Like, they really need to stop doing that. The storyline with manga varies. It could be a slice of life, it could be smash 'em, bash 'em, kill 'em, it could be romance. You get a whole bunch of different types of plots to choose from. Sometimes the plots are very mediocre and it's so sweet and sappy that make you sick. Sometimes the plots don't make any sense. Sometimes they're very, very psychologically crazy, and some it's very bleak, but there's a lot to choose from in the manga world. Meanwhile, DC takes all of these concepts and mix them all together. You get psychological things, you get romance, you get action. They just are a chameleon over there. So it is very even with storyline. I can't say that one is better than the other. Both are evenly matched. It's really something where I feel like both bring something fun and interesting to the table. However, it's really going to be based on what you're into. For me, my final conclusion, like even thinking of it now, I like both. I like all of it, you guys. I'm gonna be real selfish. Like, I really don't like one over the other. I think because they both bring something that is unique to the table. However, I know there's some people, they like stuff that's made in America. It's definitely good to be a reader, especially in Rona and all this stuff that's going on. Read, you guys. Have fun. So, follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also have a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real. And I will be back.